up for...
Oh, wait. What time?
votes.
Oh, it's noon. Okay, yeah, so that's it. It's time to Dragonholt.
All right.
Ian, you have a very important job as producer.
What's that?
I don't know if you saw any of this when I think I tweeted about it. I have a soundboard set up, and we're going to need you to play thematically appropriate music, which I have labeled so that you'll be able to tell.
So Ian is DJing?
Essentially, yeah.
DJ Ian!
The only big deal is... Okay, actually, let's mute that.
You what?
The TV.
Is it behind you over there?
It's the gray one. It's a little gray remote. There are like seven... Oh, it's under this book. Okay.
I'm trapped
So,
under
for
a blanket.
example, first we have to play Dragonholt Finale intro.
Oh, this is gonna be terrible.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Holt Z.
I'd like you to do me a little favor. It's not like you to break the rules, Kakarot.
I know, but I really want to fight this guy in the first round. That way, we'll both be at 100%, and it'll be a totally fair match. With a little help from Boo, Goku had his desire fulfilled, and he was
Boo.
matched up with a mystery fighter in the first round of the finals.
Who's his boo? Isn't that
According to
Bulma?
Goku,
Or is that his mom?
the simple village
No,
boy
Bulma's
named
his friend.
Groove was in fact
Wait,
a
where's the
benevolent
controller? I can't
incarnation
fucking
of
click.
the evil Majin Buu.
Majin Buu?
Goku.
But the boy
Goku's
wasn't
boo.
aware of his true powers,
yeah.
and Goku
Yeah,
wasn't
that's his
beyond
life.
using insult or injury to coax them out.
Oh no. Just wondering.
Who he has?
Isn't that? My family's not ugly.
Boku.
Yes.
My father's not
Two
a
kids with.
That's how
It's
Naruto
a
works.
begins.
Naruto, Boruto, Goku, Boku.
He has two kids,
Oh, I hate the camera being
and apparently
big.
they never kissed. Him and Chi-Chi.
They never kissed?
He doesn't know how to. Something like that. I don't know. Something weird like that. I think he only has two kids. Does he have a third? I don't remember.
All right, from here on, Ian, I leave it in your hands. All you gotta do is highlight one of those things and hit the big go
Hey,
button.
Rain.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, they all have descriptive titles that tell you when they should be played.
Should I read one of these?
Yeah.
out loud? Bugs, don't put your whole hands in the shrimp buffet.
Wait, why don't we... Okay, so... Why don't we take a minute? You introduce Ian to our characters.
Okay, so my character is Bugs, who is I have art for,
Yeah.
who is a cat girl thief
I was gonna say, let me guess. She's a thief.
who thinks
Yeah,
she's
wait. Just,
You're a mage.
well, sort of,
close. My character's a thief who thinks she's a bard,
Yeah,
and,
that sounds about right.
and has a Crown Royal bag of magic runes that actually work.
A crown
But-
royal, as in literally the.
Yeah. But there's also just a bunch of other shit in there, like rocks and marbles and things, so it's a grab bag.
trash.
Yeah, it's a bag of trash that she happens to have scavenged. I would say one of her startling moments was when we were at the bazaar and there was a magic rock that convinced her to steal it. And it turned out to be a rock of encumbrance or something, and now she can't use her agility skill because this rock psychically controlled her.
I was like, don't pick up that rock.
Gaunt's
It's,
is
too it's so magically heavy that you can't do anything
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh, the camera
kind
is
of
big
off.
time out of sync.
Oh, it is.
Oh, yeah.
How am I gonna do this?
Wow, yeah, my hair does look really dark on stream. I mean, I guess it is pretty
What
dark.
if I
I
go-
dyed it.
It does look dark.
Why
Yeah.
don't you describe your character while I
I'm-
try and...
Okay, so my character is, I don't know, you're probably gonna sound pretty familiar. She's, her name is Philomena Sansi.
Yep.
She is a wander gnome alchemist. She's 55. She does alchemy and persuasion. She basically tries to keep bugs in line.
this
She's
sounds-
like Bugs' guardian, begrudging guardian. But
Did
as
that-
we discovered in the last episode, I think, maybe relies on Bugs a little more for memory stuff than we realized initially.
Yeah, no, this sounds 100% like these
You are right. You already know. Yeah,
aliases.
right. You already know.
So is the...
It's great.
Camera any more in sync now?
Test.
Test. Hello. Oh yeah, Philomena was fuck buddies with the baker.
Oh yeah, I fucked the baker.
I think one of the
Cakes out of it.
Well, that's
song
what
titles.
I mean. We didn't quite, you know,
How many are
go
here?
through what the exact.
Well, you don't have to use all of them. I just
No, but I can't see
number
all in
of
one shot.
cakes that the baker had brought me, but yes, there were pastries. There were pastries given, presumably still.
Pastries given.
so is
He
the
also has, like,
Is that a
webcam-
euphemism? Pastries given.
Well, yes,
webcam
also
any
that,
more in
but-
sync?
He's got a little kid.
Camera is slightly better, but still off. Wow, it's really that slow, huh?
And we helped. Who's actually really cute.
Oh shit, Brush is here. What's up, John?
Hey
Hey,
John, how's it going? Erotic cakes.
Ooh, I want this one. I take go.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that some dwarf shit?
Yes.
Good job. This is great. Oh wait, but is this gonna? No, because we're not recording on like a thing.
You mean
It's not
that-
gonna do noise cancellation
No.
for the because we're just it's never mind. I was
All right, are you ready to play? People can tell me if the camera stuff is still badly out of sync.
Hang on, let me.
Am I buying cyber drugs from a Decker or what?
I forget which one that is. Some of them I went a little off the deep end. An awning has been erected outside the manor's front door, curtained off to transform the space into a foyer. Right, so we've done a bunch of questy shit in this town, and now we're going to the masquerade. There's been intrigue. A human woman in black and white livery. How many times do I have to say livery in this goddamn game? Wearing a black domino mask stands before the door. She bows as you arrive. Welcome, she says. The Countess requires you please don your mask before you enter. She gestures to one side where a curtain hangs to provide some privacy. If you did not bring a mask, her ladyship has provided several for your use.
Can you put the volume? Okay, so wait a
Yes.
minute. Wait. Okay, so
Uh-oh, it looks like they're overlapping. Is there like a
I
stop
need.
button? I think it's playing both at once.
I have currently.
No.
About a
there's no
half
stop.
second off.
I have currently too many things to try to pay
Uh-oh.
attention to. And I am not going to be able to listen to a word you're saying if I
Uh-oh.
don't do something.
I broke it.
I updated the camera again. Let me know if that made it better or worse.
Especially since I'm like not even doing
I made a 12.5, Dave.
12.5 speed?
No, I made a 12.5 on
Oh.
the list.
I don't think that matters.
anything. Okay.
Alright, you step beyond a curtain and find several white domino masks similar to the servants in a variety of sizes. So we can don the crescent moon mask, don the mask of green leaves, don the black dragon mask, don one of the provided masks. There's two of us. Shouldn't we be allowed to pick two?
Yes.
Oh, it's worse. So maybe it was the other direction, which might make it easier.
Well, let me
Is
just.
that
I
better?
was asking Dana about getting my glasses for playing games later,
Alright.
but
Okay.
but I
I'm confused, dude.
Wait, but how could it be? It shouldn't be seconds. I feel like that might be lag on the part of the camera.
Every time I hit stop, it just makes another line.
Weird. Let me see.
Figure that out. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real
Stop,
quick.
pause.
Yeah.
This
stop
must
and
be
pause.
like a playlist or something. Untitled stop queue. Do not continue. Armed. No target queue. Triggers. If running, a second trigger. Hard stops. Maybe it's that. I delete things. That's how you get rid of stuff.
Okay. Sorry. I'm also trying to see if Dana's coming over to play Zelda at some point tonight. And Ian is taking a bio break. Remember how we talked about how people used to say on the internet in games, BRB bio break. Uh-huh. The internet. Back when it wasn't the internet 2.0. You know, guys?
Mm-hmm.
This is me trying to fill dead air. It was really bad.
Oh, sorry.
No, it wasn't your fault. I'm the one who fucking started it.
What? The start of the dead air? That's messed up. I feel like I need Riley here if I'm going to be doing DJ work. That's my hip hop duo, me and Riley.
Nice.
Did you see that thing? I took a picture of her when we were at the zoo, me and her, and it looks like an album cover, a hip hop album cover.
I think Dana might come over and bring me my glasses, and then she could say hi to the stream.
Now?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, even if it was now,
It would be an hour and a half from now.
She wouldn't get here for another 4 hours, even if she said now.
Okay, I fixed it.
But I don't.
Looks like a hip hop album
That's
cover.
awesome.
Oh, it's adorable. Show the stream. Show the camera.
What did I do to deserve this?
Thanks, Eve.
Thank you. It's
There we go.
adorable. All right. We're ready to go.
Okay.
No more distractions.
So there is. You
So
don't
that's
have.
what I'm doing. I'm gonna
I fixed
do
it
that
so now
that
everything forcibly
I can't.
stops when you do
Okay.
a new one. So,
So-
you
Do
don't
a
need
new
to-
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll fade the last one.
All right.
Alright, so
Okay. So we are being asked to don a mask. So we can choose to don Crescent Moon mask, Mask of Green Leaves, Black Dragon mask, or one of the provided masks. I really feel like we should be able to don 2. There are 2 of us.
Yeah, we each get to wear one, obviously.
Okay, so I'm gonna obviously don the Black Dragon mask.
Yeah.
So please mark story point G5.
Oh shit! Why did I take the thing out?
Spanish flee.mp3.
I just had that in the folder and I was like,
G5.
yeah, G5. And then do you want to don the Crescent Moon mask, Mask of Green Leaves, or one of the provided masks?
Celeste gave me this.
Yeah.
Celeste is my
Friend. Our former
But-
associated.
but. Are we cool with Celeste? I
She's
mean, like,
alright.
I know she's all right, but do you think like?
You think she's in the pocket of the aristocracy? We got the Mask of Green Leaves from the cat person that we bartered their fish for them or something. That's kind of like representing the people.
Thanks for the donation. What the
Yeah,
hell
I'm gonna
is
do-
this?
Wait, for cat, we got it. From
Remember
cat
there was a
people?
cat folk at like the at the market, and the human vendor was ripping them off on the price of fish, and we
Right.
helped them.
And they gave us, yeah. Let me. I'll wear that. Plus, it's adorable. Green Leaves mask is cute.
Okay, so that is story point T7. And now we are reading 1357. You adjust your mask and step through the door into the manor's grand hall. Lanterns have been strung from colored ropes above, giving a space a brightness and light you've seldom seen even in daylight. Excited guests in masks of all shapes and sizes crowd to the floor, already overflowing into the table set aside for food and relaxation. Several liveried staff move to and fro through the crowd, carrying trays of bottles. At this point, we can assume they're wearing livery, I feel. Each wears a plain black domino, just like the woman at the door. Some of the staff are wearing swords at their hips and mail beneath their livery, ushering guests to and fro from various rooms of the
We
house.
should have done take a shot every
Yep.
time I mean, it is extremely.
The crowd is brightly
Happy.
colored and in constant motion, making it difficult to pick out individual figures. You do spy a few you think you recognize. A gnome woman stands near the windows chatting with a cluster of other guests. She wears a mask painted with blue swirling designs and a butterfly ornament set with a blue gemstone cleverly perched at her right temple. A dwarf man sits against the wall to your right. His mask sporting gold, black and white checks and gold trim.
That's my boyfriend.
A small dwarf girl clings to his leg, her mask a ruff of feathers,
That's my
styled to
boyfriend's
look
kid.
like an owl.
She's a sweet kid.
Standing just to your left is a tall orc woman with a plain black mask. Standing at her side is a gnome woman with a flamboyant mask, a curl of immense red and pink feathers, fluttering well above her head.
I don't know who those people are.
The orc laughs at something
Just
the gnome
kidding.
said, then glances in your direction.
Those are our
and
friends.
pauses.
That's Baxter and.
After a moment, she touches the
Sansa.
gnome on the shoulder and crosses the floor to you in 3 long strides. You're here, says the orc woman. I'm glad. I don't think we'd have anything to worry about. There are guards massed and mingled throughout the clouds, including some from the Belmonts and Cunninghams.
Joel's trying to start
But
shit.
I'm always glad to have you on hand. Don't worry, we'll get there. She smiles at you, then glances down at the wavering feathers of her gnome companion at her side. You should try to enjoy the party, says the orc. Leave protecting the guests to me and the other guards. Not before I get a dance out of you, says the gnome, leaning back and shoving her feathers aside with one hand in order to see the orc's face. A proper one! So we can say thanks for letting me know or good evening, Miriam.
One question. Are we... So, part of the thing, like the donation amounts, small donation amounts, we interrupt to like do a whole...
Yeah.
How do we know when we don't have a...
Somebody can tell us in the chat.
Okay, yeah. So, I guess...
I mean, we'll hear the Jaka John.
So that
And then-
okay, that's what I was asking.
and then they
we
can
will,
tell us
we
in the
will
chat
hear
if
that.
it
Okay,
is.
so
And
just making sure.
As a reminder, you can give small donations.
At
20,
20.
420 gets Panzer a treat. 660 gets somebody bonked with Nanatsu provided hammers.
Pico Hum.
All right, you want to say thanks for letting me know or good evening, Miriam?
What's up, Marion?
I literally do not care about the guards. Okay, 2526. I could not care less about these guards unless I can freeze them.
Well,
Oh,
one-
that's the other thing is that for the entire time we've been playing this game, there have been options to use a frost rune.
Yeah.
And I have become increasingly more incensed every time we don't have the frost rune and one of those comes up. So we finally got the frost rune in the last adventure.
Yeah,
And
and-
if there's not an option to use the frost rune in this goddamn mystery ball, what are they called? Masquerade, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Bugs is gonna go totally bananas if she can't use her frost rune.
Yeah.
She's been itching to
Good
use
evening,
it.
says the gnome happily. I mean, who's this Miriam lady? I don't know her. She sounds like a wonderful person. That's essentially how I were. Like, that was our joke in the last episode, is like, they were like, you're gonna need masks. Nobody's gonna know who you are.
Yeah.
And both of our characters are like 4 feet tall. And
Well, yeah, and like you have cat ears,
Mhm.
and yeah, I'm a very obvious gnome.
the masked orc chuckles. I'm honored that you, a stranger, would mistake me for this Miriam I've heard so much about. I thought you didn't know who she is, interrupts the orc. The gnome glances up at the orc. Did I say that? Goodness, I think it's time for a dance. With that, the gnome takes the orc by the hand and drags her. Well, the orc allows herself to be dragged
Okay.
towards the dance floor.
They just got married.
1528.
It's cute. We have to.
There was a gnome wedding. I think one of us ended up the bride
There was a gnome wedding?
groom.
Well, there
Well,
was
a gnome and orc combination wedding.
Yeah.
It's literally type of dance music a gnome wedding would play.
The crowd stills as a chime rings out, silver on glass coming from the balcony overlooking the grand hall. A tall, ethereal human woman in a resplendent green gown and quartered black and white dragon mask steps forward on the balcony to address the guests. Welcome to the annual Three Lords Ball, she says in a voice that feels quiet,
Sounds like
but
three
nonetheless
too many
fills the hall.
lords.
Tonight we celebrate the alliance of 3 noble houses, House Cunningham, and here a group of men and women in mainly blue and gold cheer from where they cluster in the garden.
Oh, wait.
House Belmont, another cheer, and from this group, people in red and white close to the musicians. And of course, House Fairfax. Our relationship remains unique in the barony, I believe, stretching back some 10 generations to the
Belmont?
union. Belmont was the...
Blue and gold.
No, Belmont is
Red and white?
red and white.
What was the first?
What are the
Blue and
colors?
gold. The different
No, I know,
houses.
but the house. What are their names? Sorry.
Cunningham was the first
Cunningham.
one. And Fairfax is the rulers of the village. By working together, we showed that we were stronger than all
they
the forces
emphasized
that would
those
tear
colors
us
in
apart.
a different thing, so I thought maybe we might
Yeah.
have to know them.
She raises her glass, where the wine within sparkles with lantern light. Tonight, we celebrate the relationship and join together once more. Eat, dance, and be merry. Together, we will always be stronger than the darkness. What about democracy? Are you going to be stronger than that? The crowd cheers, but the woman's glass drops from her fingertip. Falling from the edge of the balcony is shattered on the floor far below. She staggers and begins to fall back before being caught at each elbow by a human man in a black domino mask and a human woman in a mask angled and styled to resemble a knight's helm. For a moment, the crowd holds its breath, and then the woman in the dragon mask steps forward once more, now clutching the arms of her two supporters. Story point 06. Is that marked? It's probably fucking Philip again.
Fucking Philip. God damn it! I need to keep. I moved it because I've been 06. No.
Okay. 2367. She's been poisoned. But it would be foolish to pretend that the darkness is not present. We mourn tonight the life of one of our own, taken from us before her time. She gestures down to the hall floor where a table sits to one side, occupied by no one. A mask rests on the table, flocked with pure white wool and stylized to look like a lamb. The mask is surrounded by white roses and other cut flowers, with the occasional talisman or scrap of paper laid by the mourners and guests. Reminds you of nothing so much as the Tree of Tales, a gathering of mementos to memorialize the fallen, from which I stole a beaver statue in the first episode.
Yeah, but isn't that what got those?
Yeah,
two
it got
old
those old people married,
together, so
which Bug
sweet.
considers a net loss. Ew, gross. I have to think about old people getting married, and I didn't even get to keep the beaver statue.
And I didn't even keep the bullshit.
A slender young human man in an elegant mask with an intricate wire butterfly wing that covers half his face places a white rose in front of the white lamb mask. He glances up at the balcony where the woman in the dragon mask and her knight companion both nod. Make no mistake, the woman in the dragon mask continues. The darkness that claims Sonia Fairfax is a threat to us all. If left unchecked, it will spread and throw us all into chaos. The woman bows her head and grips the hands of her supporters tightly. A moment of silence, please, for those we've lost. 2151. Silence settles over the assemblage like snowfall. Heads bow and stillness reigns. Then the woman in the dragon mask lifts her head and speaks again, her voice stronger, brighter. And now it is time to celebrate. We celebrate.
Wait, Owen
lives lost.
breaks in with a shout, death to the
Yeah,
aristocracy.
we poisoned the drink.
Filovita is like full communism now.
And those, we are light against the darkness. Make merry, my friends, and let your light shine. Thank you. The crowd cheers, minstrels strike up a tune, the hall's once again awash in merriment and fellowship. Is story point G5 marked?
I think so.
Oh, that's one of the new ones.
Oh, that was the
3811. That is it. Your mask or our mask? Is the
Your.
question,
What do you
or
mean
my
our?
mask?
Oh.
3811. A stocky human man
Not
in one of the plain
sabotaging.
glass masks reserved for your staff approaches you. Glancing over his shoulder, he takes your arm and urges you to lurk beneath the stairs. I expected the man himself, he says, but you're wearing his mask. He must have sent you in his stead. Everything's arranged. I told your friend who she's looking for and made sure he could find a weapon. This is the mask we got from the traitorous uncle's tower.
I know, yeah. Yeah,
knew
so
it.
there was a plot. But the thing is...
The Countess is the one who's in the black and white dragon mask.
Yeah, no shit.
In case that wasn't clear. It was clear.
Yes.
I'm 14 and that's clear. He jabs his thumb toward the ceiling where the balcony with the nobles hangs over his head. Lady Rochelle is here too. She's the one in the knight's helm mask.
Okay, hold on.
Come on, these masks aren't that creative. We know. The man drags a hand across the back of his neck and sighs. Sighs? I'm leaving the country tonight. I've been tending the Fairfax stables long enough. I figure they owe me a horse. With that, he ducks away and vanishes into the crowd. You move to follow him, but he's lost among a sea of facades. And then you find this tall orc woman wearing a domino mask with a sword as her hip. You whisper to her about your encounter, and she nods. I'll alert the other guards. We'll keep our eyes open for anyone suspicious. Good work.
Wait,
Yeah.
we
Let's
just snitch automatically?
Yep. 2567. This game.
Bugs?
I didn't do it.
You did! Yeah. This is not what
You're
Bugs
terrible
would do. This is not what Bugs would do.
With no immediate demands on your attention, you take
Is
a moment
Keanu in
to watch
the
the
story?
crowd and survey the room. With the speeches out of the way, the guests are spreading throughout the manor. The minstrels, perched on the spiral stair overlooking the west side of the halls, are dashing out a lively tune on pipes, lute, tabor, and harp. About a dozen couples whirl and prance in complicated quadrille on the
Riot.
dance floor, forming and reforming in ever-evolving patterns. Many guests are clustered by the banquet table at the head of the hall,
Good dance
helping
music.
themselves to platters of food and settling in a nearby table seat. It's an unusual arrangement, but probably the only way to feed a large number of guests present in the space available. You know two humans, a man and woman in stag and doe masks, talking in low tones near the table, watching the rest of the crowd. The woman in the dragon mask remains on the balcony overlooking the hall, where she's now surrounded by guests who you take to be other nobles. A tall human man with a half mask of blue and glowed cheeks is leaning over the edge of the balcony, scratching a small jeweled drake under its scaly chin, while the creature coos in contentment. A stout human man with a bushy beard and wearing a red mask of silk, with a white rose at one temple, leans in closely to the woman in the black and white dragon mask, talking less privately than he seems to think. The doors to the garden are open. You can see lanterns dotting the greenery. Several guests have already fled the noise and bustle of the main hall to walk alone in the garden or in pairs, where the pools of shadow and many twists and turns of the path provide privacy. At least one couple is walking hand in hand, clearly out for a romantic stroll. So we can find a dance partner, mingle near the banquet table and try the food, approach the dragon woman and her entourage, or venture into the garden. I guess this counts as a choice. So, what do you want to do?
I mean, we're eventually going to be able to go up to them.
Presumably.
Up to who?
The noble entourage.
We're presumably going to be able to go up to them eventually and say, how do you feel about the abolition of private property? But until then, we should do some other things first, no?
Mm-hmm. Sure. So, dance partner, try the food, venture into the garden.
Does Bugs want to dance?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I think Philomena would try to get Bugs to dance. Be
Okay.
like, come on,
4, 5, 7, 3.
You might have fun.
Now,
You never think you're gonna have fun.
For those that don't
but
know,
sometimes it is fun to play with kids your age.
these are the
Bugs.
rules. Is you take turns in this game. So
Yeah.
when it's Gratz's turn,
So I
she
just
can
made you
force
dance.
us pick whatever choice she wants.
Yeah.
But then it becomes my turn, and I will pick the worst option possible in all cases. As you approach the dragon dance floor, the music changes and a new dance begins. A contradanza, where rows of couples exchange partners in ever more complicated flurries of movement.
Oh no!
A human
but
woman
I
with
oh
the
no! I
night
feel
mask is
really
in the
bad
center
for
of it.
making Bugs try to do this.
Yeah, she
You're
just
definitely not doing this dance well.
Bugs' move is just totally stone-faced, throwing up down her front.
Well, everyone does complicated and
She just
synchronized
goes,
moves around
"But-"
it.
That's her anxiety tell.
I didn't mean to.
Off to one side, a tall
I
orc
didn't
woman
mean
with a
it
black
for it
lance
to
dances
humiliate
carefully
you
with the
this
gnome.
badly.
The orc dances stiffly and
Bugs.
formally while the gnome spins and flourishes before her. I do actually know these court dances, says the orc. I could lead you through one of them if you want. It's not that hard.
Oh.
But I'd rather have to dance with other people, says the gnome. I'd rather dance with you. And this way I get to show you what all the gnomish dances are about. She cocks her hip and raises her arms above her head and shimmies side to side until her partner begins to laugh. Another gnome in a blue mask, a sapphire butter ornament, stands by, laughing and clapping at the couple's antics. She glances your way and smiles and then returns her attention to the dancing. At the other end of the dance floor near the gardens, two dwarves are dancing, an older man and a young girl. We know who they are. They don't seem to be moving with the music, but they don't seem to have noticed this fact with all the jumping and shrieking the young girl is doing. So we can ask the gnome woman with the blue mask for a dance, approach the two dwarves on the dance floor, join the large group in an elaborate dance. I mean, the gnome woman is Sapphire, who Bugs technically has a crush on. But that just means she's going to throw up on her. So do you want to dance with your fuck buddy?
Nah, I don't care. We did
we've had enough dwarf baker stuff
I just
to
feel-
last us a lifetime.
I feel like it was adorable. We did it last time, but now I'm kind of regretting not going outside. What if there's like,
Intrigue.
yeah? What if there's like,
Do you want to
know,
go
the
back?
people we got
We
my
sold
mask
out. Oh, the cat
from.
folk
The cat folk are
hanging out
in
in
the
the
bushes,
garden,
ready
and
to
they're ready to give us
uprising.
poison darts. Well, do you want to change to that?
Are we allowed to?
I don't know. You want to go with that one, or you want to stick to what was that? What was the last number we did?
Oh no. I
Oh.
wrote 215.
4063. Garden is cool and dark, with only a small handful of lanterns glowing softly to light the path. A gentle breeze stirs in the leaves, just like the music is like washing over me. Washes across your skin,
Hey,
bringing with it the
Tasty!
sweet scent of flowers. Hey, Tasty. The dark silhouette of a large oak tree stands in the center of the garden, the moon silvery behind it. It towers above the hedges that mark off its space. On the right along the manor wall and near the door to the kitchen is a vegetable garden.
Oh.
Pragmatic, but not precisely beautiful. To your left, behind another hedge, you hear the tinkling of a running brook feeding a pond. Directly in front of you, an arched trellis climbs with flowering vines. Beyond it lies a rambling footpath marked with stone lanterns, benches, and screened with tall shrubs and flowers. So we can make your way to the oak tree, follow the sound of water to the pond, pass under the flower trellis, go to the vegetable garden. Yeah, I thought maybe we'd get to climb the trellis. I totally would have done that. I guess vegetable garden?
No, I was thinking go follow the path.
Make your way to the oak tree or follow the water?
Wait, oak tree?
There's a large oak tree, center of the garden. There's
Yeah, go that. Go to that.
8395.
I just realized how not big that book is.
Well, it's a bunch of little books.
Oh, okay.
There's like one big town book, and then each adventure has its own book.
Gotcha.
You make your way through a short hedge maze to the oak tree. From its crown hang a half dozen paper lanterns, a kid according to Great Hall inside. Is story point K8 marked?
Yes!
Okay, 8591. Beneath the spreading limbs of the old oak tree, an elderly couple. Jesus Christ!
No!
It's Theo! We can't escape him.
Now we have to
This is the
watch the,
people
old
that we
people
got
make out
married.
again. But they're nice. But it's fine. It's sweet.
Beneath the
but
spreading
it's
limbs of
not
the oak tree,
exciting.
an elderly couple sways gently to the music lilting out
Aw.
from the manor house. One human man has a wooden mask carved like a frog. The other human woman has a cascade of bright flowers flowing off her mask. She rests her head lightly against his chest as they dance in the flickering light of
That's
the
very
lanterns
sweet.
hung from the
Great,
tree.
Great.
Was it worth the wait? She asks after the silence. Yes, he says, it was worth every single day that brought us here tonight. She tilts her head up and they kiss. They giggle as their masks clack together. Story point T6 marked.
Somehow no.
Okay, 1118. When's the intrigue part start?
Yeah, I was out there looking for
We
it.
got
I was
to-
trying
yeah.
to look for the
I
intrigue
mean,
in
this
the
is
garden.
this is the
Gox
canonical.
is puking.
This is
again.
She gets very upset by romance.
she is
it's
a cat.
It's
also.
a physiological
She's a cat person,
affliction.
which means she's just always puking.
Yeah, unfortunately. You pause a moment to collect yourself and get a drink of water from a passing servant in a black mask. Revelers surround you, and the masquerade shows no sign of slowing down. Time passes.
Okay. Oh wait, how much time?
There's 8 time, and then the progress bars in this one. I should have mentioned this earlier, or maybe I did to you. There's progress peace and progress war,
Yes.
and they each have 8.
Okay.
All right, so 1147. From your position on the edge of the Great Hall, oh, okay, this is the same thing again. So we can approach Dragonholt and her entourage, find dancing partner. I guess we'll try the food.
I guess.
5335. I mean, this is Bugs' only earthly pleasure is food, so. The smell from the banquet table takes hold of you and drags you closer. Steam rises from a heavy earthenware dish decorated with ram's horn, where joints of mutton falling off the bone lie on a bed of roasted tubers and shallots. Duck stuffed with spices lie at either end of the table, roasted to a rich golden brown. Sides of the table are piled high with crisp apples and wheels of white cheese, bowls of deep purple plums, jars of pickled cabbage, onions, dishes, roasted vegetables of every description.
Cool.
Baskets of bread and
Sounds
urns
delicious.
of creamy butter and sweet jams are crammed into what little table space remains. The table to one side holds a collection of pastries and cakes. as well as small side dishes of candied nuts and fruit. Black mass have flit in and out of the kitchen, frantically replacing food as fast as the guests consume it. As you help yourself to one of your favorite dishes, you notice several of the other guests loitering near the banquet table. A small group is centered around a tall human man with a stag mask and a human woman with her mask styled to resemble a doe. At the other end of the table, a human man in a plain bass mask is singing a yarn of valiant chivalry to an audience that seemed half amused and half annoyed. Just to your left, a gnome woman whose mask sports an almost dangerously long plume of red feathers carefully loads food onto her plate. Mingle with the stag and doe masked humans. Listen to the black mask tell his tales. Help yourself to plates full of food.
I don't know my answer.
I'm going food.
Yep.
5594.
Help yourself. That's what it said. That's all I heard.
5594.
Bugs didn't even.
Ignoring the clusters of conversation, you focus on the food and fill your plate. On closer inspection, the mutton seems to be insider with cider and spices, spice season, and the roast duck stuffed with plums and offered with a plum side sauce. The vegetables include beans, carrots, onions, cabbage, mushrooms, and spinach. Dishes of squash and peppers, all steaming and expertly spiced. The bread comes in two flavors, thick and brown and golden white, with jars of butter and jam to slather over it. What about the bread? Golden brown.
I expected you to say breads and spread.
Oh, breads and spreads.
Breads and spreads.
I thought we were getting that bread.
I thought it was a hint to the baker.
Everywhere, yeah,
No,
the baker
I was
did
gonna
it.
be like, well,
My
I mean,
boo.
my boo probably did.
Everywhere
bake
you
that
look,
bread.
you find some new delicacy, and your plate is quite overflowing before you can get to the dessert table. You each recover 2 stamina, which I don't think matters. As you are choosing from among the cakes and pastries, you almost bump into a gnome woman whose mask starts to. Pardon me, she says, turning to face you, causing her feathers to flutter into the face of a passing servant. I couldn't see you past all this food. The servant steps backward, trying to remove the feather from her mouth, and the gnome turns again, her feather drifting up into the nose of a human woman in a fox mask. The woman sneezes and staggers.
I turned to the
off.
servant
What
and
was
say,
that
how
all
do you
about?
feel about common ownership of the means of production?
Are you enjoying the festivities? A great sped, but nothing compared to a gnome feast. Where did you find such a magnificent mask?
Where does the bud is?
Are you enjoying the festivities? Great spread, but nothing compared to a gnome feast. Where did you find such a magnificent
That was
mask?
a math. Yeah, where did you find
1742. This thing,
I'm agitating
asked the
for
gnome as she
revolution.
blows
That's
some
what
of the
Phil
drooping
did is do
plumage
it.
out of her face. I don't have a mask prepared. I found this among the masks supplied by the host. It was the prettiest one I could find. As she speaks, a single massive feather slowly leans down to rest on her pile of food. She sighs heavily and brushes it back into place with the rest of her
Actually
plumage.
kinda funny.
If I'm being honest, I regret the decision
Yeah,
deeply.
that's
With a
so
huff, she blows a
cute.
bit of fallen fluff into her forehead. I need to go find Brax, my wife, and see if she can help me fix this blasted thing.
Wait,
She brushes the plumage back from her face
Wait,
once more and
what?
sets on the banquet table. Excuse me. Yeah, I guess I don't remember it saying she was the one wearing the red feather mask, but I guess that's Miriam.
no, but she was. Oh, so I think I was getting Miriam and
Sapphire?
Sapphire confused.
Well, Sapphire was wearing a mask that
Is
had a sapphire
Sapphire-
on it.
oh, because I thought we saw Braxton and
We did.
her in the beginning.
We did.
And
but
didn't they describe her in a different?
I thought so too,
Who
but I
cares?
guess not.
Whatever. Who cares?
With that, she turns towards the rest of the party. However, she turns back quickly, causing numerous feathers to once again fall in front of her face. Don't eat my food, she says. Then sweeps the feathers from her face and scampers off in the crowd.
that she's like my best friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're the same person.
Yeah,
The
we are.
tutorial
So-
character is a gnome alchemist. That's basically.
We didn't know anything about the characters that were going to be in the game, so I made my character, and then they start describing like this character that you're going to go visit, and it's like it's my character. It's like literally an alchemist, like a lady alchemist, older, opening a shop, and I was like, well, this
Alright.
is weird.
We're back at the what do we feel like doing? Find yourself a dance party, mingle, go to the garden.
Go to the garden again.
more
Let's
garden.
go see if we can fuck some shit up in the garden.
This is very slow.
I'm just think, you might find some
All right,
workers
so
there
go to the
ready
vegetable
to-
garden.
Just go to the dragon mask lady and punch her in the mouth.
Well, because you can't
Pass
just
under
do
the
that
flower
without a plan.
trellis.
You gotta get.
So,
Punching them in the mouth is the plan.
Well, no.
pot, trellis,
See, this
or
is
vegetable garden?
that's your. You and Bugs are also.
Oh yeah, no.
I guess vegetable garden.
Yeah.
Just go to the vegetable garden and pull out all their
5222.
shit. Just,
Yeah.
just
Well,
Rip it all out.
No, don't rip it
we'll
out.
eat it.
We have to kick them out, and then we'll.
Vegetable garden is quiet and lit only by moonlight and the
Steal
spill
some
of light from the
carrots.
matter. Carrots and cabbage, beets and broccoli, parsnips and peas, and other vegetables grow in raised beds of rich-smelling dark earth. That means it smells like poop. Surrounded by gray stones. Rusty red pots bracker the bed, bracket the breads, and march along the manor wall
Spinach
filled
for
with
my binge.
basil and hyssop and other herbs.
Have we done that before?
Probably. I mean, spinach is like...
Spinach for my binge.
There's like a picture of like
seems
from a
like
buffet where there's a pot of spinach and it just says spinach.
I don't know.
Is story point K8 marked?
Oh man, I'm finding it hard to concentrate
Yes,
on
it is.
what's going on. Yes.
7738. 7738.
They're not good. They're not strong
You
flyers.
step to examine the garden more closely. The crops are all glowing well with no signs of blight. Is T6 marked? Are you gonna peek away on the fly?
There's like 2 of them right now. I got it.
Good job. T6.
I need somewhere to put it.
T6.
I need to put the fly carcass somewhere first. It's very small, but that doesn't mean it's. Here, this is getting thrown away.
T6 is not marked.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
This is
Now I've lost where we were.
Uh-oh.
Okay. 6846. So we didn't get anything out of that.
I have definitely said spinach for my bench in chat before. Yeah, I thought so. I can't wait till somebody drinks from this.
All right. So are we going to
No,
go to
the
the
pot
Dragon
thing,
Woman?
put the-
Are we going to
the
dance?
fly.
Or are we
no,
going to keep
that's-
exploring the garden?
Oh no, where's my pen? I don't want it to bleed all over the comforter. Okay, this isn't college.
All right. Dance. We're back at dancing. Mingle at the banquet table. Approach Dragon Woman.
Wait, what even happened in the vegetable garden?
Nothing, because I guess we didn't do whatever plot point.
It sucks.
Do you have to go to the garden?
Well, let's go back out and see with the rest of the outside.
Okay. So we're going to try the pond or the trellis. I guess let's do the trellis.
Okay.
5869.
I'm starting to remember that game we played.
Last year?
No, many, many years ago.
Flowers blooming in the night air bathe you in sweet perfume. I think that was Time Stories. As you pass beneath the garden trellis. Beyond you find a tall rose bush splitting the garden path, which rambles past some glowing stone lanterns and carts of colorful flowers. Most of the flowers are closed for the night, but you see some primrose and moonflower fluttering in the evening breeze. If story point E2 is marked.
Nothing in E.
What the fuck? Then we're just going to the fuck. They want us to go to the goddamn Dragon Woman.
Wait, though. Maybe there's something. Let's see. What's the trellis
I guess
one?
we might. That was the trellis. So I guess, I guess we
might as well
do the
check the
last
other
one.
one.
This has been a bust so far, though.
Yeah.
Usually, I feel like things get moving a little faster than this.
Or at least you encounter something that picks up on a
5869.
previous thread. Wait, that was what we just read.
Oh, it was? Oh, right. We did do the trellis. We need to do the
Yeah, the other
pond.
one. Pond.
6771. Come on.
The Yog.
The Yog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one's. Oh, yeah. Where you just doubled down on drunk.
Hey.
A dwarf man
I
with a
make
mask
dumb
of black
decisions,
and
but right
white
decisions.
check sits by the water's edge, laughing as the young girl whose mask resembles the snowy alley owl and rushes back and forth across the bridge. Her feet thump and rattle like drums with each trip across the wooden deck.
Well, I guess we found my boyfriend.
So we can gather sticks to race under the bridge, sit by the dwarf man for a romantic chat. Requires story point D2.
Oh, D2.
So you want to do that?
D2's been done.
Bugs will race the
Please.
Bugs
We've
will
gotten
race
all the way to
sticks.
D6.
3963. Yep. 3963. So generally how this breaks down is Grotz goes and gets laid, and Bugs has to babysit the stupid little dwarf girl. He gets honey on her fucking Game Gear.
But they have fun. Bugs is good with kids.
You settle on the ground at the dwarf man's side watching his daughter play on the bridge. I've been living for her, says the dwarf man,
I know.
ever since her ma died.
I know.
Every decision I made has been for her.
Aw.
I came down out of the mountains for her. I set up me shop in this wee quiet village for her. I'm even here tonight because she wanted to come. He glances at you and smiles. Well, I wanted to come too. I hoped I might see ye here.
Aw,
He reaches
thanks.
to take your hand in his. His hand is warm and strong, and he smells just slightly like flour and glowing warm heart.
Aw.
You,
That is a very-
ye reminded me that sometimes...
What?
I thought I was going to let you continue.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
A man can live for himself too. Don't want to have to choose twixt her and me. Da! Says the girl, tromping off the bridge and racing towards you. I want to go see the flowers and explore the maze. And the dwarf laughs. Well, go off with you then. I'll be right here when you're done. The girl races into the night and the dwarf man turns to you.
Bugs, watch her.
No. I'm racing
Do
sticks.
it.
I'm racing the sticks. Grisbex takes off his mask and smiles, the wrinkles at the edge of his eyes deepening. He squeezes both your hands gently but firmly with his. Thank ye for reminding me to live for myself, he says, before passing a moment as if picking his next words carefully. If you'll have me, I'd like to live for ye for a while. You're like coming on a little strong.
Just a
We
little.
had sex once, yes.
Yeah.
The dwarf man's cheeks burn with a flush of color. He opens his mouth to speak again before you can answer. Take ye time and think it through, of course. You sit together holding hands in the gentle silence of the brook and the light that fills the garden. Just-
That was good music.
After a few minutes, Penny returns in a flurry of energy and excitement. Da! She says, come see, come see. Grisbeck allows himself to be dragged away, giving you a small wave as he goes.
Okay, bye, guys.
Alright, so are we finally going to go do the thing?
Can I brush up on dwarvish custom?
Yeah.
Like, what does live for ye for a while mean? Does that mean date, or does that mean get married? Because for a while, like that,
I'm just saying,
Bugs,
he
do you
just
know about-
got done talking about how he was living for his daughter, so it looks like he's just looking to transpose his reason for living onto the next one.
Listen, I'm cool with dating for a bit. See where this goes.
Alright. We're
You
going
bake
to the
very good
dragon
pastries.
table. Group
Very
of nobles on the
considerate
balcony.
person, kind person, presumably good at gnome sex, whatever that is.
Group of nobles on
Although
the
he's a
balcony
dwarf,
sprawls down
not
the
a gnome.
staircase, sorting themselves higher and lower on the stair,
Works out.
presumably based on rank. At the head of the stairs stands a woman with black and white dragon mask. Leaning over the balcony rail at her side is a tall human man, we know, with the blue and gold checks. Chirping Drake flutters its leathery wings while perched on his hand. So he's got a tiny dragon. That's cool. I guess, some of us have seen full-size dragons and slain them, or not slain them, as the case may be. But defeated
Gotta
them in
hit it.
honorable combat. A step below the woman in the dragon mask is a stout human man with a mask of red silk with a white rose as his temple. His bushy red beard burns brightly against the velvet of his black tunic. Below the man in the red mask stands a slender elf woman with a crescent moon mask in conversation with a brown-skinned human
there are
woman
so many.
whose mask resembles a night helm.
Right, Night Helm. That's Lady Rochelle. Oh, I remember Lady Rochelle. She hates us.
She's just the... Does she hate us?
Yeah, she hates us. Isn't she the
She's the
captain
daughter.
of the guard?
Yeah.
Yeah, she hates us.
So we can join the conversation on the stairs, linger nearby, and eavesdrop on the balcony, approach the table surrounded by flowers.
eavesdrop.
Okay. 5196. That probably would have been my... Another 2 families last month, and I'll lose a half dozen more when the harvest is over, complains a human man with a bushy red beard. They're all moving to your lands. I'll have farms going fallow, and who will replace their taxes in my coffer? They're not serfs, my lord, says the one with the dragon mask. If they leave your lands for mine, that's their choice. Perhaps you should spend more time thinking of ways to encourage them to stay and less time blaming me for your problems. The human
Have you
man...
guys ever considered? Actually, there's no point in asking them. They already own the stuff. There's no point in talking to them about it. They'll just give away the plot, the complotment.
Yeah. Human man with the drake coiled around his arms chirps, and suddenly the drake suddenly flutters out into the air above the dancers. Dragonholt's prosperity can help us all, he says. Oh, so you were listening all along, grumbles the bearded man. I was. Your mistake is seeing Dragonholt as competition rather than finding ways to benefit. In my country, I've shifted the market day to the middle of the week. That way, merchants don't have to choose between two markets, but can visit them both. Oh, good, so they just have to work all the time. And some of those rich traders who are flocking to Countess Fairfax's streets are passing through my lands on the way home. We both win that way. He shrugs as his Drake returns to coil around his arm again, proffering up a small morsel of something in his free hand for the creature to eat. It flares its iridescent ruff of scales and coos, darting in the food like a striking serpent. Well, we can't very well both shift our market day, or we're right back to the same problem, aren't we? Grumbles the man with the beard. He turns to the woman with the dragon mask and points one thick finger. You need to bar my peasants from settling on your land.
No.
I'll do nothing of the sort, my lord, she says with a flick of her fingers. Our families have been intertwined for generations, and so have theirs. You've given me sunder brother from sister, grandparents from grandchildren. You'd have me. Leave off, Leon, says the tall man with the drake. Tonight isn't the time for discussion. The man with the bushy beard huffs, takes a drink of wine, and shoots over the balcony. You move on.
Okay.
I mean, I guess so. Should we join the conversation on the tears? Approach the table with flowers.
Join the conversation, I guess?
Yeah, I don't care about some dead girl we never even met.
Is it approach the table carrying flowers or approach the table that has flowers
The
on it?
table with flowers is
The
in memory of
memorial.
the daughter who died from intrigue before
Yeah.
Also,
they sabotaged her horse.
dragons coo?
Yeah, I guess little baby ones do.
Okay.
You climb up the stairs, join conversations with the night masked woman. Story point 06.
I think
No.
no.
I think
How
we've
do
had
you
that
know?
one
Because
before.
they've all been no.
7905. Maybe that's just wearing the Solis mask. 7905. Never once beat her in a game of King's Folly, says the slender human man in a butterfly mask. He has sprawled himself in the banister on the stone staircase. With apparently no fear, he'll fall, although the elf woman with the crescent moon mask standing nearby keeps reaching out a tentative hand whenever he shifts position. No, nor me, says the woman in the mask styled like a
Yeah,
night owl.
Normie.
She drubbed me
Oh,
mercenarily.
Burn, Normie.
And I tried to get her to spar just to repair my self-esteem, but she was too clever for that. She was clever, agrees the elf woman. She had a gift for seeing the lessons, and even the lesson behind the lesson. The elf steps aside to grant you some room on the stair. What about you? Do you have any memories of Sonia she'd like to share? We can say, I never had a chance to meet her, or she loved horses. Bugsy's just going to be like, she loved horses? She did, agrees the woman in the Knight's Helm mask, and not the way I do. It wasn't just riding that interested her. No, agrees the youth in the butterfly mask. She liked to study bloodlines and think about training and breeding. I'd never had the patience to think about something like that. In fact, it wasn't
So she was a
her horse
Pokemon
put to
trainer.
pasture because she was with foal? Asked the woman in the Knight's Helm mask. I'd wonder if she'd been riding her own horse the day she died, do you think? Best not to dwell on it, suggests the elf. But the others climb to the stairs to the dance floor. She remains lips pursed, thinking. That's weird. So did I pick the wrong one?
Yes.
Why?
Because that was about the girl who died.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just a weird coincidence. All right. Table of Flowers is 3399. I guess
Did you kill her?
No, we came because she died.
Yeah.
As you step towards the table, a broad-shouldered man blocks your view. He pauses over the flowers for a moment, walks away with a backward glance. You step up and examine the table as flowers more closely. 8497. Mask lies on the table, stylized to look like a lamb, and covered with fluffy white wool. White roses form a dense carpet
Yeah, we are.
on the table, interrupted here and there by small mementos, a rolled piece of paper. Trinkets, gifts for the departed. In the center of the table rests a sprig of purple flowers like a swirl of stars, hyacinth, resting on the top of the very pile. At the near edge lies an ink pot and a loose stack of blank papers for guests to write their own missives. Allow for a moment of silence. Write a heartfelt message to the spirits, or leave a gift for the departed, which requires the polished shell. Which
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have the polished shell. I think we have the magical. Yeah, we have Spirit's Blessing, so we don't have the shell anymore. So, moment of silence before rejoining the festivities, or write a message to the spirits.
Oh,
I guess let's do message to the spirits.
sure.
I've always wanted to sign a guest book for a funeral.
Okay, yeah, go
You
ahead.
take up a quill and parchment to write something, not quite knowing what to say, but soon your hands find the words your heart struggled with. And a eulogy, part prayer, part promise, easily spills from your pen.
Good job, Bugs.
An elf woman in a crescent moon mask appears at your elbow to sign your work, nodding in approval. Bugs will just eat the paper, rather than let somebody see it. Perhaps the spirits, you let your missive dry for a moment, then wrap it around the bros and place it on the table. Perhaps the spirits will read it and improve your message. You only know you feel lighter, somehow, for having written it. Alright, we're back at, like, choose to do the thing again.
Yep.
But, like, no time has passed. That's what's so confusing.
Oh, wait, one time.
Oh,
has passed.
time passes every time we do one of these things.
Oh,
We
so
haven't-
the day's over.
Well, so if 5 or more time has passed, 4, 1, 2, 9. I was skipping that part of the step. Now that makes more sense. So let's
Well,
say...
wait a minute, but then we never actually went and heard the conversation.
No, but we didn't get story points for any of those things, so it doesn't matter.
No, but for the...
It's just we're at 5. And
Okay.
whatever is actually going to happen.
All right.
What did I say? What's the number?
4129.
I thought I said, but I couldn't find it. Oh. A shriek tears through the music in commotion like a talon through lace. Screaming comes from the stairs up to the balcony, and panicked guests go streaming past you, rushing for the door. The ghostly figure of a young woman moans in midair over the stairs. The woman's skin is dark, her hair like a riot of golden curls, and she wears her dress worn bunched up at one hip for riding. Color fades in and out as she moves, flickering in the air, and blood spatters across her face.
Ghost!
Celeste removes her crescent moon mask and gasps. Sonya! She steps towards the ghost, holding the mask over her breast as if to guard herself. Sonya, talk to us. He sabotaged my saddle, moans the ghost. Kyrick, my own uncle! She moans and floats over the crowd where a sun
that's
circle
true,
appears
though.
around a tall human man. You wanted
Good
my
ghost.
mother's seat, and you were willing to kill me to
Accurate.
get it, uncle.
Accurate. Good.
The tall man removes his
ghost.
mask, revealing the scarred face of the bandit leader. I did not, he shouts. That idiot stable master acted without my orders. He pulls away from the specter and finds his path blocked by a broad-shouldered orc woman in a black mask. Braxton throws her mask aside and draws her sword. On the balcony above, Regina removes her black and white dragon mask, and Rochelle doffs her faux knight's helm. Both seem several shades paler, transfixed by the sight of Sonya's ghost. Regina calls Kyrick. I never intended to let things get out of hand. The spirits hate a kinslayer. Read entry 6666.
Yeah.
The devil's number. Plus
Also, pound hammer.
6,000. Uncle, says Philip, tearing off his butterfly wing mask. Please, Uncle, surrender. Face justice for your crimes. I did not kill her, murmurs Kyrick again, turning a slow signal.
Technically,
Perhaps
you did.
not, but you abducted me, held me prisoner,
We're not talking about you now,
threatened me
Philip.
and tried to force me to support your claim to my mother's seat, and when I've refused, you tried to kill me. The only reason I'm alive today is an act of sheer heroism. He nods gravely in your direction. Uncle, please, it's not too late. This can end without any more deaths. Kyrick shakes his head. You're wrong, my nephew, it's too late. So, Ian, so you know, Bugs breaks the fourth wall to be like, it was my act of heroism. We have this shell that lets you gain any skill for the adventure. So I happen to
Or
choose
for
like
the...
devotion or something for some inconsequential reason. And then at the end, when we were confronted by this guy last time, when we were rescuing this little shit kid, there was an option to like catch the crossbow bolt that he shot at us. And because I had happened to use the shell earlier, I was able to do it. So we were just envisioning her going like, and then being like, yeah, and like throwing it away. All right, 9917. Oh, I'm getting spoilers. Battle is joined. The first act ends here. From now on, if playing with 2 or more heroes, making a decision exhausts your activation token. As normal, requirements of decisions must be met by the hero making the decision. Braxton steps forward and throws Kyrick to the ground. She levels her sword at him. Kyrick Fairfax, she growls, you are under arrest for treason. The other Fairfaxes walk forward. Regina leading the way with Timothy. I forgot about Timothy.
Me too.
With an I and a Y in an opposite place.
I wouldn't be able to tell you, yeah.
Brother, I think you can understand why, under the circumstances, I do not consider you an invited guest. Let's throw him in the cell, says Rochelle. One hand drops. I'm so glad we're done with the mask shit. Back to names. One hand drops the hilt of her sword, the other hikes up her ruffled skirts to freer movement. Dame Braxton, would you be so kind? Of course, my lady, says the Or, calling Kyrick to his feet.
Aw,
Rochelle
Dave.
watches her uncle wearily. Behind her, you see a human woman in a red riding costume and a skull mask draw a long dagger and pad forward. The knife held flat against her arm. An assassin! It seems no one else has spotted her.
Assassino.
Shout a warning to Rochelle. Spring forward to protect her. Freeze the assassin in place requires Frost Rune.
I mean,
You gotta let me. Even though
sure.
it's technically your turn. 7, 8, 3, 6. We finally get to use the Frost Rune. I mean, except for all the other reasons I've used it non-canonically throughout this. It's just to, like, shoot at trees, like birds.
Cool down some tea.
You feel the cold creep into your body before you even pull the Frost Rune from your bag. Even as you will it, almost before you will it, the ice licks the floor beneath the assassin's feet, sending her tumbling, then rushes upward with a crack to encase her arms and legs. A gasp runs through the crowd, and everyone takes a step back, except Regina, whose eyes remain fixed on the assassin. Celeste steps towards you. That's a very impressive rune. You must tell me everything about where you found it. She
Okay,
glances
not
back
really the
where
time.
Rochelle has drawn her sword and Braxton wrestles with Kyrick. But later, I think. 3, 9, 6, 8. Kyrick slashes at Braxton with a knife, breaking away. There's no turning back now, he calls. A number of partygoers throw off their masks and draw a motley assortment of hooked knives, cudgels set with nails, and other weapons made as much for cruelty as effect. Sonia's ghost shrieks as the remaining guests cry out in fear and begin running for the exits where more bandits come streaming in.
The ghost screamed?
The ghost
'Cause of
rises.
The knives?
The ghost rises above them all, her cries rising higher and higher until a knife flashes through and she vanishes. Kill them all, spits Carrick, and may we be damned for it. 5 bandits rush forward, heading for Rochelle and her mother. Braxton steps forward and lashes out at the lead bandit, sending him staggering, while the other 4 rush past her like water. Rochelle shoves her mother behind her, holding her sword in a low grip. You get to her past my corpse, she hisses. That's the idea, princess, chuckles the bandit in front of her, a lean, dark-skinned woman with dramatic patterns shaved into her hair. The screaming crowd parts, and the woman in Fairfax livery shoves to the front, tossing aside her black domino mask. The surly guard Talea. You vermin are going to make me earn my pay tonight, aren't you? She snaps, drawing her sword, and then she rushes forward and scatters the bandits with a swing of her blade. More bandits fight their way through the fleeing guests, moving to surround you. Rochelle sifts to and fro, desperately trying to stay between all of them and her mother. Cut a path through the enemy. Charge headlong at the bandits.
I'm just extremely disappointed in the lack of like security at this
Yeah.
party.
Blast the flag. I mean, yeah, nobody got pat downs.
Or at least, yeah, for
Maybe this monarchy deserves to fall. Maybe they want to fall.
I'm just saying, you know, when you know somebody's plotting to murder you and it's your brother,
Yeah.
you don't hold a masquerade ball and let people bring their swords.
So you can cut a path through the enemy, charge headlong at the bandits, blast the flanking bandits away, which requires arcana or runes, inspire your fellows with bardic song, which requires performance.
It's my turn.
Yeah, so you can either cut a path through the enemy or charge headlong at the bandits.
I think I'm gonna charge headlong actually because I just got brawling.
7, 4, 7, 8. It'd be funny if that. Oh.
Is it brawling?
With no plan to speak of, you scream as loud as you can and run straight at the closest bandits.
This is
I'm
very-
rubbing off with
It's really bad.
A human man in Fairfax livery and the long-winded guard Deacon rush to your side. Aha, he bellows, have at thee, filthy bandits, we'll make short work of you. The bandits shift and close ranks, forgetting the Countess and her daughter for a moment to focus on this new, much louder threat. If you have the brawling skill,
Yes, bitch!
1, 5, 7, 3. Deacon does not live up to his boasts and tall tales. His first strike missing completely and his sword getting lodged in the banquet table.
See, that's the thing. I'm short, I'm
Yep.
small, I'm hard to hit, and I'm fast.
The bandits write him off as
AJ.
incompetent and turn to focus on you. Their
That's
mistake.
a good point, though. Yep.
The first bandit lunges at you with a hook knife, which soon becomes your hook knife.
Yeah.
As he lies screaming on the ground, clutching his broken hand. The second bandit trips over your leg and finds a knife in his back. And a third falls on top of him after you punch him in the throat. The fourth and fifth bandits
Dispatched. Bandit dispatched.
prove more difficult to defeat, spreading out and jabbing at you with swords to keep you at bay. Just as you're getting concerned that you won't be able to attack one without taking a lethal wound from the other, Deacon cries, "Aha!" and staggers back, his sword now free. A platter of roast duck goes flying through the air, launched by the vigor with which he pulled his sword out of the wood banquet table, and lands squarely on the head of one of your attackers. Offering up a quick pair of thanks to the spirits, you drive your heel of your hand into the solar plexus of the fifth dumbfounded bandit. 4731. You have a moment of peace and regroup with the Fairfaxes Timothy, Braxton, Miriam, and the guards Tweagle, Talea, and Deacon.
Tweagle.
Twyla.
Twyla.
The bandits hang back, but every moment more filter through the doors or out of the rapidly thinning crowd. "We cannot stay here," says Braxton. "We have no cover and are badly outnumbered." "Aye, the young knight has the right of it," mutters Tweagle. "We must move up or die." He jerks his head at the stone stair behind you, up into the tower.
How are we outnumbered in your own fucking castle? Like, are you serious?
They're not very good at their job. You had one job, and that's to maintain order with an iron fist. And you can't even fucking do that. Why does anybody have faith in this system?
Well,
You can't even be good,
aren't there like a
anti-democratic
million guards?
power mongers.
Like, don't they have guards?
Up into the tower. This is Tweagle
Like,
talking.
where are Braxton's people? Like, guard people?
I guess. You'd think they wouldn't have anything to do but that.
I mean, yeah, maybe they have the night off. That's okay. It's fine. I just doesn't seem like they would.
Yeah, it's the only part of the manor grounds that are fortified at all. You realize that the eastern wing of the manor house is in fact an old stone tower, and the balcony overlooking the ballroom would be a fairly defensible position. "The garden," suggests Timothy, his voice ragged. "We'll be trapped in the tower." "In the garden, we can use the hedges to our advantage, and we'll have room to run if we need to." The gardens border directly on the orchard surrounding the village. Although its hedges offer some protection, the true safety in that direction might be to slip into the trees into the darkness and hope for the best. Trio and Braxton stare at glance, then look at you for a decision. Balcony or garden?
What was the balcony? We could jump down?
That leads us to, that's the tower, which is defensible.
Yeah.
You think balcony?
No, I don't want
Garden?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Garden is flee, right?
Yeah, we think we can lose them in the darkness.
Oh, no. Fuck them. I want to fight.
1591. "Do it," snaps Rochelle. "Braxton, Talea with me. We'll give them some cover." The group moves up the stairs as they launch a concerted attack on the bandits, driving them back and giving you room to maneuver. Regina and Timothy soon reach the stair and begin to climb, followed by the rest of the group one by
This
one.
music is inappropriate.
Look, sometimes the
No, I know,
descriptions. Soon enough, the only ones left on the great hall floor are you, Braxton, and Rochelle. Talea and Celise hold the bottom of the stair, using flashes of magic light and swings of Talea's sword to keep back a pair of burly, almost necklace brigands. Alright, interesting description
So
for
they
this
got
moment.
they got muscles.
4 bandits
Appropriate
lie
my ass.
between you and the stairs.
No, I wasn't. It's fine. I
Led by a
wasn't.
lean, brown human woman with dramatic patterns shaved into her hair. We know about her.
Yeah,
"Get the
She's
noble
a
girl,"
band.
sneals
She's
the
a
lead
band.
bandit. "Kyric's paying 100 gold to the one who cuts her down." But it's just like,
No!
that's not even that much. That's fucking 4
Yeah.
healing potions.
Yeah, but you would not.
Maybe just healthcare is ridiculously overpowered price in this world.
I mean,
"Try it," hisses Rochelle, her knuckles whitening on the hilt of her sword. "We have to get back to the group," says Braxton, shifting to keep her focus on the bandits now moving to encircle you. Fend off the bandits while Rochelle clears a path. Support 2 fighters with tactical advice. Fire from afar while the others engage. Create an icy barrier between you and the bandits. Requires frost rune item.
is your frost rune exhausted?
Never. 7851. Frost rune, frost rune. You lift your frost rune, careful not to touch it directly to your bare skin. Yeah, we've had experience with that. Again, I'm still wearing the gloves. With a shout, you spin in a tight circle, forcing the energy in the rune out towards the enemy. Crackling and groaning like a river in winter, shards of ice form around you. A rampart of frozen spikes blocking the bulk of the bandits away from you and the staircase. Free to focus on only the few bandits between them and the stair, Braxton and Rochelle shout in charge, chasing the suddenly worried bandits away with a few swings of their swords. You fall and climb the stair, now in command of a very defensible position.
Nice.
3692. This is all my worst decisions have culminated in making all my best decisions. 3692. Oops, I got it backwards. You hold the foot of the stair while the others retreat into the tower. Before you can follow them, a bandit steps forward to challenge you to a duel.
Ooh.
Come down here and fight, you coward, he calls, grinning around a mouthful of sharp teeth. He is an elf man with skin so pale it almost seems translucent as he holds a hooked sword with a casual arrogance that suggests he knows how to use it. Your countess can't hide behind your skirts forever, not if she wants to keep the respect of her people. I tend to agree.
I mean, that's true, but I mean, either way, I don't.
Before you can respond either to the challenge or the insults, the elf leaps to attack, his sword flashing in a deadly arc.
Okay.
Meet his assault with a clash of steel. Use the high ground to your advantage.
I mean, I have dueling, but we also have the high ground. Can't we do both?
I assume... Nice.
Can you guys hear the music?
Is it high ground?
Yeah,
you?
high ground.
Okay. 3866. Uh-oh.
That was bad.
It's obvious almost immediately that the elf bandit has the upper hand on you when it comes to
Why?
skill with the blade. So you scramble up the steps, trading positions for a chance to find opportunity to gain the advantage.
Dueling!
Kill him, shark! Shouts the gnome
Agility!
woman
I'm
waving her
very
twin
small.
knives. Do you have reasoning?
No.
Okay, 7972.
I have persuasion? That's better than reasoning.
You scramble to keep yourself above Shark and out of range of his sword, looking for a weakness you can exploit. Sadly, no such weakness prevents itself, and you keep jumping, scrambling, and losing ground, pressing back as you narrowly dodge the hook tip of his sword.
Really?
When
This
you reach the
fucking
top of the
bandit?
stair, you put out a foot wrong, looking for a step that isn't there. Shark's blade lashes out, tearing a bloody gash out of your calf.
I'll be
You
fine.
fall as your whole leg spasms and stiffens with the pain. Lose 4 stamina.
Yeah, right.
Talea stands up to defend you before Shark can bring his sword down for the murder stroke, catching the sword upon her own and locking them together. Back and forth, they wrestle their locked blades as the bandits below howl for blood, hurling insults and accusations of cheating and trickery at you. Look, it's not cheating to have a frost ring. You guys could have gone to that crypt at any time.
Okay.
Shark's attention seems to be on Talea's sword, so you
Wait,
grit your
don't we
teeth and
have
use your
two
good
pl-
leg to kick him in the
did,
chest.
Did we get 2 extra max stamina?
I think so.
Okay, so then I'm not down to 8, I'm down to 10.
Send him. You kick him. Use your good leg to kick him in the chest and send him tumbling down the stairs to sprawl limp atop his companions. Read entry 2946. Standing on the balcony, you watch as the bandits below get organized and prepare to mount an attack on your position. Some of them have found bows and now others clutch spears. One begins to climb the stairs, led by a wiry human man with freckles and eyes as dead and colorless as a fish.
I have alchemy.
Mhm.
I could just throw a fire potion.
Well, you might want to keep
Could.
listening. You and Celeste stand on the balcony, she with a rapier in one hand and
Well,
her
why-
rune
I
bound
s-
with copper wire looped around 2 fingers clutched in the other. Just like old times, he says sourly. Fend off the bandits at the top of the stairs, find a way to keep the bandits at bay, pick off bandits with your bow, or smash a vial of liquid smoke on the stairs.
Liquid smoke.
Requires alchemy.
I mean, that's just gonna slow them.
I mean, they say it imparts flavor to the meat, but honestly, I think the whole thing is kind of BS.
I mean, I was hoping more for fire. You know, like a, a situation that would actually...
All right, so you want to do bow or alchemy?
Bow, I guess. Yeah. Archery. I have archery.
You also have alchemy. 7044.
All right, fine. No, yeah. I mean, yeah. Do the alchemy, because then at least they won't be able to see.
Well, I think you got lucky because I flipped to the bow one. It looks like you need awareness next, which I don't think we have.
Oh.
8936. With a hoarse cry, the bandits rush up the stairs. Celise readies her rapier and rune and takes position at the top. Maybe try that trick you used in the goblin cave, she suggests. Oh, what is that? When you throw the dud grenade your partner made and it fails to blow up and then the boss wallops you with his club?
Yeah, that one didn't go so well. Maybe we should talk
I think
about
you
a
lost
different
8
one.
stamina. I think it was the biggest stamina
it was
loss
pretty
we've-
bad.
up to and including the goblin or the dragon. You nod and pull out a vial of gray liquid, hurling to shatter it halfway down the stair. A cloud of silky gray smoke builds up, soon enveloping the entire staircase. Within the smoke, you hear bandits shrieking and stumbling. If you have awareness, you don't. So we need awareness both ways. 6329. One bandit trips and falls over the side of the stair. Her shriek suddenly cuts short with a meaty thud somewhere down below. You hear 2 more shouting within the smoke and panic. Suddenly, without warning, a clay-bound dwarf man comes running out of the smoke, howling. He shoves Celise aside and sprints directly at you, beating his chest, and then lashes out with a meaty fist and strikes a blow to your side of your head that makes your teeth collide together and your vision swim. You lose 5 stamina. What is Bugs doing during all this? Who can say? She found the shrimp buffet.
Yeah.
As Gratz has lost 9 stamina in the past 5 minutes, which is more than Bugs has.
Yeah. Well, no, Bugs has 10 now.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. We grew up. You realize you're leaning against the railing at the edge of the balcony as the dwarf man grips your legs and starts trying to flip you out into the space beyond. You flail and kick in an attempt to keep your balance, but you fear yourself slipping over the edge until Celise steps up behind him, wraps her arms around his face, and brings the rune clenched into the palm of her hand to his eyes. And a possibly bright flare shines out when your vision finally climbs back out of the darkness. You see a dwarf man lying on his back, sobbing and pawing at his eyes ringed with black scorch marks. Celise, Jesus Christ. Bugs is like, shh. Let's get out of here, pants Celise, and the 2 of you crawl into the Countess's audience chamber at the back of the balcony. Braxton and Tweagle slam the doors shut, and Talea throws a heavy bar across them. You're safe at least for a little while. 4819. Are you going to drink a potion?
Yes. Yes, I'm going to.
Oh, God, this one's long. Hold on. I'm going to need some tea or something.
Yeah, do you want to take a...
Cough drop.
Fuck. Oh, yeah. We each have 2 HP potions. So now I have 1. That gives you half of it back?
Mm-hmm. Half your max.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a big one. The audience chamber is almost silent, with only the hissing and spitting of the fire on the hearth breaking the stillness. Regina sits on her chair of black wood, Sonya figures wrapped around the arms of her chair as she fears to fall. Timothy hovers at her side, fingering the dagger at his belt and casting nervous glances at the double doors. Rochelle leans at the fireplace. Only Celise seems serene, kneeling in the center of the room with her eyes closed. We have to do something, says Rochelle. They'll get through the door eventually. The door suddenly rocks, a loud bang sounding from the outside. They're trying to batter it down, says Braxton. Probably using a table. The balcony isn't large enough to get a proper ram up there. It won't work. They're better off using axes. Moments later, the distinctive thok, thok, thok
Why
of an
did you
axe
say
sounds
that,
against
you
the door.
fucking moron?
And Braxton shrugs apologetically against Miriam's glare. What? I scarcely think they heard me and took my suggestion. That's it then, sighs Regina. No, says Rochelle. We fight. Her hand slashes like a sword through the room, arranging battle lines. Braxton there and me here. Rochelle, says Regina, spending her life to save mine is a poor trade. Daughters do not die for their mothers. Rather, it should be the other way around, I feel. She smiles a paper-thin thing already tearing apart. Rochelle, I love you with all my heart. You will be a marvelous leader. I'm so sorry I couldn't stay with you longer.
X wants to know when Goth Grots happened. Well, I was Morticia for Halloween, but I mean, if you ask some people, it's always been.
Mother! Rochelle steps forward as Regina groans, resting her head against the black wood of the chair. The light fills her, escaping through her eyes, mouth, and fingernails. And she stands, a tall-faced figure shimmering with power. Sonia's spirit appears at her side, offering a long sword. Another ghost flickers behind her, a broad-shouldered, dark-skinned man with love and sadness writ in the lines of his face.
Aww.
And hands the spectral Regina a shield. More and more apparitions appear, some human, others animals or fanciful creations. A badger, its fur marked with a heart and inscribed with initials. Snuffles at the helm of Regina's dress. That's the statue I stole. I don't know why it's here. A diminutive knight, lance streaming with black and white pennants, sits astride a sparrow on her shoulder. You are not welcome in this place, thunders Regina.
That's pretty cool.
She gestures, and the doors of the audience chamber burst open, shards of wood flying out into the massive bandits on the balcony. You have no roots here. Depart or perish. With a wordless cry, Regina and her legion of spirits rush forward, and the bandits shriek in terror. One of them leaps forward, swinging an axe, but his weapon shatters on the shield of shimmering light.
Yeah.
Regina's shining sword lashes out, and the bandit falls, split in two. The bandits scream, some rushing forward to attack and die, others fleeing, even leaping from the balcony. In moments, the great hall is empty of bandits, and the spirit legion vanish, chasing the few survivors in all directions or simply fading from existence. You cross the balcony and look out, seeing no sign of Kyrick alive or dead. The spectral Regina nods to you, then vanishes as if a cloud blown apart by the wind.
Later, Regina.
6741. So the Countess is dead. It's pretty much just Rochelle and Philip now. A strangled sob pulls you back to the black wooden chair. Rochelle lies there, gripping her mother's skirts and shaking with grief. Philip's hand on her shoulder. Regina's body sits on the chair, her face peaceful and empty. Philip places his fingers on Regina's wrist and closes his eyes for a moment. No, he breathes. She's gone, Shell. I never knew, sobs Rochelle. All this time, I never knew the power she could command. Soft laughter comes from the balcony. You turn and see Kyrick standing in the shattered remains of the door, his scarred face alive with manic light. So, dear sister, your flame has finally burned out. I thought it might if I gave you enough incentive. He pauses, drawing contrition around himself like a masquerade costume. Rochelle, Philip, children, it's over. I am the Lord of Dragonholt now. Rochelle stands and draws her sword, her eyes burning like green fire. Not while I live, she growls. Time passes.
Cool.
5205. Rochelle rushes forward, slashing at her uncle as she comes. Kyrick steps aside, sidesteps her attack with no apparent distress.
We're just gonna let this kid fight that guy?
This
What are we
tantrum is
doing?
unbecoming a woman of noble birth, says Kyrick, even a bastard's daughter. Enough, shouts Rochelle,
Ew,
parrying
rude.
Kyrick's thrust. Her riposte cuts across the
I
bridge
guess
of
we
his
gotta
nose,
let the kid stand on her own 2 feet, fight her own uncle.
sending him staggering
Sometimes
back.
you gotta fight your own uncle.
You did this, she screams. She slams the hilt of her sword into Kyrick's stomach, dropping him to his knees. You killed your sister, your niece, you kinslayer. She lifts her sword over her head. No, Rochelle, don't kill him. Philip rushes forward, arms outstretched. Rochelle steps back, glancing back and forth between her brother and the uncle. Kyrick struggles to his feet, wiping blood from his face. I'm not the monster you believe me to be, Rochelle. This isn't what I wanted. His knuckles whiten on the hilt of his sword and he laughs, a brittle breaking sound
Still
like a shattering
killed a bunch
pot.
of people, though,
But it
bro.
doesn't matter, does it? I've come too far to turn back. Suddenly, he turns and flees.
Wait, really?
Rochelle shrieks an incoherent wail of rage and races after. You, Philip, Braxton, all leap in pursuit, jumping over bandit corpses and struggling to keep both Kyrick and Rochelle in view. In the great hall, Kyrick rushes to the front door. Behind him, Rochelle bends and snatches a spear from the hands of a dead bandit lying on the floor, then steps forward and throws. With the spear thinks into the wood of the door with a thwack,
Uncles are
nearly
always-
striking Kyrick's head. He jumps back and Rochelle rushes towards him with her sword high, only to be hauled to a stop by Philip. Please, Rochelle, begs Philip. What our uncle did is terrible, but don't stoop to his level. He doesn't deserve to live, Philip. Rochelle grabs Philip and hurls him back into Braxton. He was going to kill you. She screams, fear, anger, and tears marring her expression. Philip stands tall and places himself between his sister and uncle. But he didn't. I'm alive and so are you. No one else has to die. Mark II, progress and peace. Rochelle screams and swings her sword, splitting a nearby chair in half. She seems torn in half herself, afire with rage and grief.
I don't know. I say we let her fucking rage it out.
Wait, it's really that long? Here. The delay here.
Still super long delay.
Tell me if this makes it better. It might be better now.
What's the time slot for this?
Till 2.
Okay, cool. Good.
I assume we're pretty much done.
Yeah, we're on target.
7609.
Stay on target.
Stay on target. 76 what?
09. Rochelle lifts her sword and makes the chase after Kyrick, but suddenly Braxton is standing in her way with all the insistence of a brick mall. No, my lady, says the orc, you are the Countess of Dragonholt now. I can't let you risk your life like this. Braxton turns to you. Go. Kill him or talk him down. I don't care which. You climb the stairs and find Carrick pacing in the salon. He sees you and readies his sword. A handsome blade featuring the Fairfax family crest. I never wanted Sonia to die, nor anyone else, but now it seems I have no choice. This country is mine by right. I should never have let my witch of a sister steal it from me. He raises his sword. Okay, we can engage Kyrick in martial combat, knock an arrow and threaten him, or say, I know, just put down the sword or no one else has to die. Did you make the last choice? Because if so, it's my turn.
Can we spend experience points now?
You can spend them whenever you want.
I'm gonna get military. It doesn't seem like you should be able to spend them whenever you want.
The book said it.
And what?
Tasty wants you to...
Put down the sword or no one else has to die.
Kill Philip.
What are the options?
Engage Kyrick in martial combat. Knock an arrow and threaten him. I know, just put down the sword or no one else has to die.
Engage him.
Who, me or you?
I think
don't know.
you made the last choice because it was the alchemy stuff, right?
Yeah, so that would mean you would have to... No, Bugs, you're gonna die. Is this the one where Bugs dies?
I believe in myself.
Are you already crying because Bugs is dead?
No one else has to die.
This is
3491.
Sad Dark Souls music on. What are you going for?
Kyrick slashes his sword
Bugs is gonna try to fight
through
him.
empty air as he paces back and forth. You take a deep breath and step forward that all of his bandits have been defeated and ask him to surrender. I actually do have the persuasion skill.
I know you do.
Because Gratz made me take it to 886, but I can't think of a canonical way that I would persuade anyone. Kyrick sighs.
To not kill you?
Yeah.
Bugs can think on
That's
her
true.
feet.
She's a survivor.
Yeah.
They call her the cockroach. La cucaracha. There's always more where they come from, but you're not wrong. Perhaps Rochelle would agree to make peace. We both lost much already. Mark II, progress and peace.
Wow.
5863. I am peaceable.
5863?
But should we be pushing it towards war?
I mean, no.
Rochelle suddenly appears at the top of the stairs, her naked sword in hand. She stalks forward, Braxton behind her. Give up, Kyrick. You'll never be Count. I already am. He growls and kicks through the door and into Philip's studio. This country is mine. If you make me kill you for it, you only have yourself to blame. He knocks over an easel, and shrouded canvas topples a plinth holding a half-finished sculpture across your path. You follow, sidestepping.
You're ruining all the art!
Give chase despite the obstacles. Block his path with a wall of ice. There's nowhere to run, Kyrick. Give up. Or it's as Rochelle says, you've already lost.
And it's me?
It's either of us, because I think we both took a turn. So we're both back up.
Wait a minute. What are the... I mean...
So give chase despite the obstacles. Block his path with a wall of ice. There's nowhere to run, Kyrick. Give up. It's as Rochelle says, you already lost.
I mean, he's not gonna... I feel like we should block him.
Okay. I mean, you're...
Because I don't want him to get away, and I feel like we could try to persuade him that he's
14-3-2.
already lost, but I don't think that's gonna... Which one? 14 Muddy?
Kyrick rushes for the far doorway, passing 14-3-2.
Thanks.
Passing between two overstuffed bookcases. You grip your frost rune through its sheepskin, feeling its chill surround you, then lash out, hurling the rune's power in front of you. Columns of ice erupt from the floor, forming a wall that blocks Kyrick's progress. The rogue lord curses. Bugs rewrites the fourth wall to rewrite the fight. Rather, Bugs breaks the fourth wall to rewrite the fight so she doesn't die. Incredibly accurate. Columns of ice erupt from the floor, forming a wall that blocks Kyrick's progress. The rogue lord curses, then shoves his broad shoulders against the bookcase to his left, toppling it over and sending loose pages and volumes everywhere. Kyrick climbs over the fallen shelf, but you focus the frost rune's power and send a shard of razor-sharp ice flying at him, piercing his leg and sending him toppling down to the floor beyond.
Nice one, Bugs.
Damn you.
Nice one, Bugs.
I told you it was going to be good practice when I was shooting all those pig carcasses at the market day. Kill me or let me go. Leave off your sorcery. Mark 1 progress in peace. Mark 2 progress in war. Okay. 4428. Oh no, yeah. So that reminds me that the Street Fighter soundboard I have is outdated in iOS. I can't use it this year. Stumbling through the fallen books, Kyrick staggers through a door from Philip's studio into Rochelle's training hall. You follow, passing into the long dueling salle with its racks of weapons and carefully smooth floor to find Braxton and Rochelle blocking the door back to the salon. Braxton's face is grave. Rochelle is flustered and bright-eyed. Kyrick has nowhere to run. Everywhere I turn, he breathes. He lifts his sword and stalks to the side, keeping his eyes on Rochelle. Come then, let's make an end of this. So this is you. End this farce with steel and blood. Bring him to his knees with fire. Requires Arcana. Throw down your sword, you're outnumbered.
Alchemy?
Arcana. Throw down your sword, you're outnumbered. Or, we're not going to fight you, Kyrick. You can't add Arcana. We don't have that. We don't have...
Oh, it's an item?
No, we don't have... We didn't get enough academic training to learn Arcana.
Really dumb.
Yeah. Also, don't horn in on Buzz. I'm not making potions when you're not around.
So wait a minute. Stop it with whatty?
So you can end this farce with steel and blood. Say, throw down your sword, you're outnumbered, or we're not going to fight you, Kyrick.
Steel and blood.
All right, 9260. I feel like we're having a very schizophrenic party moment with how we're treating this guy.
Yeah, I
I was
mean...
going to say, I don't think either one of you is a steel and blood character. But
Well,
She's an archer.
I became
That's not
one
steel and blood.
eventually. No, well...
She's actually, you're dueling and military.
I have dueling, brawling, and military.
I have a sword that gives me dueling
Go,
and
girl.
military.
But I got them lately. This has been newly acquired.
We
skills.
did a lot of training. Basically,
like that guy's knees. You got this.
we hit the
That's what I was saying.
we hit the
I could just
shonen
punch-
time
I
skip.
could just run around and punch everyone right in the nuts.
Shattering kneecaps.
Yeah.
Without another word, you lift your weapon and step forward. Kyrick's lip curls back into a snarl, and he shifts his stance to meet you. His sword trembles in his grip. If you have dueling or military.
Got both,
Bugs
baby.
is also
I got both.
I have both of those thanks to that magic sword we crafted and never ever used.
Yeah, it's not your turn now, Bugs.
1822.
It's my turn now.
Wow. I can't think. My brain shut off. I can't think of anything to look up on YouTube anymore.
As you clash together, Kyrick surprises
For
you with a
music?
deft
Yeah.
and wickedly
Wait,
fast stab over
don't-
your guard,
Don't we have music from the
Yeah,
thing?
catching you in the shoulder,
Sorry.
then pulls
no,
back. His skin shines with sweat, and he stumbles as he moves. Even his attack was weak. You
Wait,
probe your
wait.
wound with one finger
Do you want to get the music?
No.
and finds it shallow, hardly bleeding at all. You lose 1 stamina.
Fine.
Moving with practiced confidence, you maneuver to trap Kyrick against one wall and step in to dismantle his guard. You pin his sword against the wall and give him a quick knee to the stomach. He snatches up a practice blade from a nearby rack, a heavy wooden stick with a lead core, pressing you back with a clumsy swing. You break the wooden sword in half with one swing,
This
then
was
land a
pretty
telling blow
embarrassing
to his leg.
considering
You're like
he's
this
got
tall.
he's got like 5 feet on me.
Yeah, I mean, his wingspan is bigger than your whole body.
Way bigger.
Oh, and
But
says
that's-
just
I'm-
play the Devil Trigger song.
Oh yeah.
But that's Bugs'
well, what's Philomena's fight song?
This is my fight song.
No,
It's Spanish palms.
No. Sure.
Is this Final Fantasy VIII?
No.
Oh.
Sure,
I thought it
this'll
was
work.
feet. You break the wooden sword in half with one swing, then land a telling blow to his leg and another to his shoulder, leaving him gasping and bleeding against the wall. Mark 3 progress and war.
Uh-oh.
9, 3, 2, 1. Are we about even?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're exactly even, 5 in each. Kyrick drops his sword to clatter to the floor, bringing his hands to cover his face. That's it then, he sighs. His whole body shaking. He straightens and wipes at his face, watering eyes, with one blood-streaked hand, then steps towards Rochelle with his palms open. If 8 progress is marked in peace, otherwise read 8907. Oh my god.
Oh, this is Lord of
Did
the
you
Rings.
become fucking...
Yes.
A calm settles over the group. I'm sorry, says Kyrick.
Uh-oh.
Rochelle turns away, recoiling as if burned. Braxton sheaths his sword and steps forward to restrain Kyrick, who suddenly bounds past her, drawing a knife from his tunic. If 8 progress is marked in war... No.
No.
9172.
Okay. Wait.
Rochelle turns back, raising her sword between herself and her uncle. Oh no!
This works. She turns back really.
But she only manages a shallow cut across his side. Suddenly, Kyrick is behind her, one hand tangled in the curves and the other holding the dragon dagger to her throat. Dragonholt is mine, he hisses.
Jesus Christ, what is your
The
problem?
story point 06 is not marked. I think that's the Philip is dead one.
Yeah,
5732.
06 is Philip is dead.
I can't believe we
What
saved
is
that.
it?
5732. I can't believe we saved that shit kid and he's actually going to help us. Rochelle, screams Philip as he rushes into the room behind you. Let her go! Drop your weapons or she dies, hisses Kyrick. Braxton pauses, her sword
how did
half
he
out of
get
his
the
sheath.
kid?
Her whole body tense. Do it! The rogue lord hisses, pressing the knife until a drop of crimson forms on Rochelle's light brown neck. Braxton's sword clangs as it falls to the floor.
You
the
are
only
such
other
a
sound
shitty
is
uncle,
Rochelle's
dude.
ragged breathing. Rush Kyrick with weapon in hand. Try to put an arrow between Kyrick's eyes. Drop your weapons. Let her go. Killing her will only make things worse. I think this is my choice.
Killing her will only make things worse.
Bugs doesn't possess anything that technically would be perceived as a weapon, is the thing.
Yeah. So you think you can get the jump?
She's going to be like, yeah, what am I going to fucking drop? Okay, so 7571. Okay, here we go.
Killing her, what is it?
7571. You hurl your weapon to the floor and put up your hands. Kyrick lets out a breath, and his grip on his niece's throat relaxes. 7180. Do, 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 do. Come on, let's shoot him with the frost rune. Uncle, says Philip, stepping past you. Please, you don't have to do this. You don't want to do this. Shut up, boy, growls Kyrick. You're next. No, I'm not, says Philip. Uncle, you held me at your mercy for the better part of a day, searching for what you thought was the courage to kill me, begging me to support your claim to your mother's seat. You question my courage now? You chose the wrong word, Uncle. The word is mercy. You could have killed me at any time, but you didn't. You couldn't. You don't want this.
You're
you didn't
not
want
a
Sonya
bad
to die.
uncle.
Oh, mother.
You're a good uncle.
Philip takes another step forward, taking his sister's hands in both of his. It's still not too late. You can still turn back from this.
Except for all the people you murdered.
Carrick looks away, blinking tears from his burning green eyes. Mark 1 progress and peace. 1913. An eerie stillness settles over the entire room. Carrick's hands stop trembling and a look of serenity washes over him. His eyes stare into the empty space of the room, focused on nothing. For a long moment, silence holds the room captive. Carrick's lips parts and he whispers, I'm sorry. Without a trace of emotion left on his face, without looking away from the empty space in the room, Whoa! Okay, Kyrick draws his blade across the soft skin of Rochelle's throat. He releases her limp body, which falls to the floor in a growing pool of blood, and steps backward, laughter overtaking him as he clutches at his head. 8871. Well,
He just killed the kid?
we got that one.
Well, now they can be a close family together.
Yep. Rochelle, no!
Wait, now it's
Philip
just
cries. Yeah, we gotta let him die too. Just reset the whole system.
What was it? 8871?
Yeah. Philip cries, collapsing to his sister's side. He clutches her hand, smooths her errant curls away from her face. No, he
About
whispers,
killing your uncle.
pressing his forehead to hers. You struck for a moment by how similar they look. The same brown skin, the same delicate features, same green eyes. But
Poor kids.
but his still flashed with life and grief, and theirs have gone flat, unseeing. Philip gathers his sister to him and rocks back and forth, shuddering. My friends, he chokes out, bring my uncle to justice, please. 4519. Kyrick doesn't seem to see you, holding his arms wide and shouting at the ceiling. Well, haven't I proved to you that I have the courage, that I have the will? Aren't you proud of me, father? He staggers, sobbing and laughing, and barely puts up a fight against you as you and Braxton slam him against the wall. Time passes. With Kyrick safely restrained, the fear and exhaustion of the last few hours catches up with you in a rush. You feel disjointed, almost as if swimming through your own life. Soldiers clad in mail and Belmont red arrive under Braxton's direction, escort Kyrick away. Someone presses a clay cup of water into your hand. You drift into the great hall. You find Philip sitting against the only furniture still standing in the room, the table carpeted with flowers and memorials for Sonia. Regina's body lies to his right, Rochelle's to his left.
Damn.
He clutches one of their hands in each and sobs, coughing and breathing in long, ragged gasps. One by one, his household gathers around him, tears in their eyes. Braxton clutches Miriam to her. Timothy alternates between trying to give instructions that trail off mid-sentence to nearby staff and blowing his nose on a black handkerchief. Celise stabs her eyes with the hem of her cloak, and after a while crouches by Philip's side. Your lordships, he says, your people are waiting for your instructions. Should we tell the village what has happened? Move the bodies to the shrine to lie in state? Philip sniffles and stares at her, a look of hurt betrayal crawling across his face. I'm sorry, Count Philip, says Celise. You are the Lord of Dragonholt now. After a long pause, Philip nods. You stagger through the front door of the manor and into a chilling mist. Somewhere the sun is rising, but you cannot see it through the still and silent fog. Read entry 9996, Lonely Ending.
Oh. Sad.
Philip puts on a brave face the following morning, giving a speech from the curtain of fog to the village green. He proclaims a sentence of exile on his uncle Carrick never to return to the barony on the pain of death. No one seems to question whether his authority stretches that far. You hear from Celise over the following months that Philip is doing well. The other lords have accepted him as the Count of Dragonholt despite his age, and he is ably supported by Celise, Timothy, Braxton, and others. He soon cultivates a fine, if stiff, public face, but he is known to cry whenever he's alone, especially at night. He will make a fine lord,
Hands on stretch.
but it will take time for his wounds to heal. As lord, Philip continues the traditions and practices laid out by his mother. He begins the construction of a small open-air theater at the edge of the Willow Grove and has the walls facing the market row painted with memorials to his sister and mother.
Not the bees, Wealthy, not the bees.
Ursula has a mural in the Countess Inn repainted to show a green-eyed young man holding twin masks of tragedy and comedy. The rest, she explains, will be added in time. Philip will be fine, Celise tells you, and so will all of Dragonholt. This campaign is complete.
Wow.
It's like,
I feel like we didn't do
Bugs is like,
as much stuff
Look.
as I.
I think I fucked that one up.
Yeah, me too, though, Bugs. Listen, Bugs, you can't.
Rewind!
You can't fix
Fans on
everybody's
stress.
kingdom.
Oh, and can you please play Dragonholt
Wow.
Finale outro at the bottom? Oh, I should have had you play the ending one.
Did you say Ian or Owen?
You did say one.
He said
Okay.
Owen, right?
Yeah.
I was like, wait, Owen has the soundboard? You did it?
Let the training begin! Yes! No need to be polite. Yell! Let it go!
Man, that was pretty weak.
Once more!
I'm the
This
DJ
time
now.
let the whole world hear! Yeah! Young Oob has been taken in by the greatest martial arts master in the universe, Goku, the orphan who fell from the stars to become the savior of mankind. As the two set off on a new adventure, one thing is for certain. As long as Goku lives, peace and prosperity shall reign.
Oh man, I missed the part where it said Dragonholt. That was very quick. Yeah, it did sort of end abruptly. Truthfully, I'm disappointed with us, but just looking at these endings, I don't feel like there was...
Much you could do.
It looks like either he wins one of them gets killed, one or the other of the kids gets killed. Or they both live. I guess if you keep them both alive, they're like, hey, we're gonna give you the title Defender of Dragonholt, and how about you stay here? That's the only one we failed. We killed a fucking dragon and we couldn't deal with that one guy. We didn't kill it.
Dragons require brute force. This guy required subtlety.
I guess. But I feel like we brute forced him a lot. I'm just trying to see where like some of this stuff goes. Because we never hit 8 in peace or war.
They've put the donation pop-ups over the webcam.
1509. Oh, son of a bitch.
What do you need for that?
Let's get Grotz back in the room.
How do I close this thing?
Let's what?
Whoa.
I need some water.
Alright. It should be good. Panzo's just played
I
out.
want to hear ending music then.
Bugs greater than dragons. Bugs less than dinner parties.
This is a good music for the end. Of
I forgot
ending.
to tell you to play it. I even intended to tell you like a minute ago.
Wait, we got a Jakajan!
Yeah.
How do I stop this?
Shut the program?
How do we get the Jakajan?
Exit.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which Jakajan was it? Panza treat?
Do I want to save changes made?
No. We were waiting for you to come back. Was it a Panza? I think there were some Panza treat ones.
Oh no! We missed them?
I'm not entirely sure if there were, because I told.
For great justice.
That was Joel. Thank you, Joel.
Thanks, Joel.
So
Panza treat!
we got a few donations during that
Ready?
we made an executive decision not
Okay.
No.
to push during it. So we might be getting them now.
She doesn't want them?
Nick wants you to sit. I don't know what's going on.
Defeat Hanako-sama. Gambare.
Oh, okay. Now she's eating them. She ate one?